Supreme Court today upheld a decision by Michigan voters saying they had a right to ban the use of race as a factor in college admissions. Voters there passed a referendum in 2006 to change their state constitution to do so. A lower court had set aside the change, saying it was discriminatory. Reaction was quick on both sides of the issue.
Today's decision is a step backwards for racial inclusion in university admissions.
That's John Greenbaum, Chief Counsel for the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, and this from the Black conservative group Project 21, which applauded the ruling.
We're very thrilled with this outcome today, and we're hopeful that we're going to see more jurisdictions adopt a similar policy.
That's Horace Cooper, co-chair of Project 21. He said today's ruling was a move closer to the colorblind principle that Martin Luther King advocated.
We're 50 years out from that point, and it's now time to be serious about it. The state of Michigan agrees with that perspective. They held a referendum, and the colorblind view prevailed.
Also with Project 21 member and Maryland attorney Shelby Emmett.
I think affirmative action was needed in its day, but I think now it's become a Band-Aid. So when you look at a state like Michigan, you have a lot of poor areas or bad districts like Detroit Public Schools. And we've used affirmative action as a Band-Aid instead of fixing the root of the problem, which is our public education system.
Shelby Emmett. Writing for the majority justices today, Anthony Kennedy said voters chose to eliminate racial preferences, presumably because it's a system that could lead to race-based resentment. He said the case isn't about how the debate on racial preferences should be resolved, but rather about who may resolve it. In a dissenting opinion, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the decision tramples on the rights of minorities. She said legislation approved by voters can potentially oppress minority groups. John Greenbaum, Legal Counsel, Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law.
The significance here is that what's in effect been taken away is the ability of people to be able to lobby their governmental officials to make a difference.
Similar voter-approved initiatives are in place in California and Washington State. Greenbaum said the ruling does not affect other states that haven't passed laws banning racial preferences. Since the ban took effect in Michigan, Black and Latino enrollment at the University of Michigan has dropped.
That's an effect that these laws have. You saw the same thing in California.
And when asked about the declining Black enrollment, Shelby Emmett with Project 21 told AURN News,
Look, there's no one will sit there and say that there still isn't some type of racism and discrimination in the country. Of course there is. You're never going to get rid of all bad seeds. But what I think is more important here is that we're no longer victimizing particularly minorities as one of myself that came from a failed district. Instead of telling me that there's ways to get me through the process later, let's make sure I have the tools now.
And Horace Cooper, Project 21 co-chair, agrees poor public schools are part of the problem.
A lot of these public schools are graduating people, both black and white, but a disproportionate number of blacks are in these poor-performing schools, and they can't even read the very diploma that they're given. How are they going to compete at the post-secondary level?
Horace Cooper, Project 21. Kim Lampkins, AURN.com.